Hey, everyone ready?
Maybe.
Welcome.
No.
Awesome.
Okay.
Welcome back to the next session of the 2023 HiTOPS Trans Youth Forum. I'm August, and my pronouns are he, they. As a reminder, HiTOPS staff are behind the scenes and will be helping to moderate the chat today. This is where you can ask questions and share comments, so send us your questions and we might have the answers. What a day it's been so far. What's up, Jamie?
It's been fantastic. Hi, I'm Jamie. I use he, him pronouns. I'm 17 years old, and this is my first year being on the Youth Advisory Board.
Today, we're going to do something a little different. We wanted to let you in on how the Trans Youth Advisory Board is assembled, introduce you to some of the members, and give some insight on how it is behind the scenes of creating this forum.
You will hear firsthand about our experiences and see trans joy on full display today.
Let's get started. So just a little background about the Trans Youth Advisory Board and the TYF. This is the only event of its kind created by and for transgender, non-binary, and otherwise gendered, non-conforming, and expansive young people.
This community building event brings young people together for a day of celebration, connection, and learning, and offers accesses to resources, community, and support. The Trans Youth Advisory Board works together with HiTOPS staff to get us and the forum up and running. The Trans Youth Advisory Board participates in weekly discussions that shape what the Trans Youth Forum will look like.
The HiTOPS Trans Youth Advisory Board ambassadors are a group of motivated trans, non-binary, and gender non-conforming youth ages 11 to 24 who come together to promote mutual understanding, increase leadership skills, and prepare to make a difference in their communities.
Through in-person and virtual programs, youth ambassadors engage in forums, conferences, leadership opportunities, outreach, volunteering, and mentoring by HiTOPS staff.
Developing their passion, enthusiasm, and commitment to supporting all LGBTQ+ people in their journey, the TYAB have their voices amplified by supporting one another and allowing their stories to motivate and create safe spaces for all to thrive. Let's introduce some of the Trans Youth Advisory Board members.
Welcome, everyone. Before we start, can you tell us your name, pronouns, and what your position on the TYAB is?
Okay, hello, I'm Arrow. My pronouns are any, and I'm an interviewer on the Trans Youth Advisory Board.
My name is Will. My pronouns are he, him, and I am the social media influencer on the Trans Youth Advisory Board.
Hello, everybody. My name is Candor. I use they, them pronouns, and I am an interviewer.
Hi, everyone. My name is Landon. I am an interviewer on the Trans Youth Advisory Board.
Hi, I'm Rocky. I use they, he pronouns, and I'm a video journalist on the Trans Youth Advisory Board.
Awesome. Great to see everyone. So my first question is, when did you all first hear about the Trans Youth Advisory Board?
And Rocky, you can answer that first.
Yeah. So from my experience, I moved from New York to live with my dad here in New Jersey this year. And I've heard about HiTOPS through me and my parents' research of like LGBTQ+ organizations. And I just got really interested and decided to join T Connect, where I found about the Trans Youth Advisory Board and I applied. When I was accepted, I was kind of surprised that I even got in, just because I applied just because I thought I could add something to the table, but I did not realize the impact I could have just for sharing my story, just in like the application and everything. And I was just like blown away. Like, it's so good to be part of this program, and I really enjoy the work we're all doing here.
I fully agree. I feel like powerful doing this, empowering to the community. Maybe that's better. Landon, what about you?
Yeah, so I am currently an undergraduate student at the College of New Jersey, and I first came across HiTOPS as a sophomore when I was taking an introduction to social work class because I'm interested in working in the nonprofit field. So I had reached out to HiTOPS in hopes for a small volunteer or internship position, to where I was introduced to a lot of the programs and other events that HiTOPS runs, including the Trans Youth Forum. So this is my first year being a part of the TYAB, as I was invited to join it, and I'm so happily got accepted to be an interviewer. And I've watched it previously for the past 2 years, so it feels amazing to be on the other side and running it with you all today.
That's
that was so sweet, so heartfelt. I loved it.
Thank you so much.
Anybody have anything else they want to say on that topic, or are we good to move on? Go
I
for it,
do.
Will.
So I'm Will, and I'm currently a junior, and I actually live in Fairfield, Connecticut. So when I came out and I started a sophomore year of high school, my mom and I were looking for like queer organizations to be a part of because I just always wanted that connection. So my mom sent me the link to apply to last year's HiTOPS Youth Forum, and it was the day it was due. So I was applying on the bus from one of my high schools to another program, and I somehow got in, and it absolutely changed my life. I've met so many incredible people. Our leader Danella is like a big bundle of joy, and I just am so grateful to have this community in New Jersey.
Shout out to Danella.
Yes.
We love her. We love you.
You know, and Will reminded me, I'm originally from Maryland, but I'm in New Jersey for college. And I also, in my college years, was searching a lot more LGBT identity organizations as I came out, you know, in college. So I truly thank HiTOPS and their location in Princeton, New Jersey, for, you know, offering me and all of us the opportunity to meet in, you know, this really inclusive space, not only in our leadership, but in all the other programs that we get to do. So it's been amazing.
That was beautiful, guys. To wrap that up, thank you, HiTOPS. It was gorgeous. Starting with Arrow, why did you want to be on the Trans Youth Advisory Board of the Trans Youth Forum?
Yeah, so basically I'm very lucky to have a supportive environment in terms of friends, family, and schools that support me and my transgender identity, specifically non-binary. But I was interested specifically in the prospect of a community of trans youth. When I'm usually the only trans person in a given room, I don't have many peers in my school and stuff that are also trans like me. So I was so excited to talk to prominent trans activists and be a part of a all trans youth community. I was also interested in volunteering opportunities to be a leader and spread information regarding the trans experience. And I'm very thankful that being on the Trans Youth Advisory Board, as this is my second year, has really granted me those opportunities. And I'm so happy to meet the people that I see here today.
Heartwarming, truly. Rocky, what's up? Why did you want to be on the Trans Youth Advisory Board?
I wanted to join the Trans Youth Advisory Board because it would give me a chance to connect to others, but it also gave me a chance to sort of break out of the box that I was put in for a lot of my life. I was always like put in gendered stereotypes, and when I came out as trans, I didn't have a ton of resources for where I was from in New York. And after moving to New Jersey and joining HiTOPS, I just saw an opportunity to become something bigger that fueled my passion for trans activism. And I really saw it as an opportunity to connect, an opportunity to advocate, but also an opportunity to just be myself. And I feel like this is like, I do have like a very personal reason for joining, but it's more than just about me. It's about making an impact on the trans community and interacting with people and lifting up people who are actively like helping them out right now.
Gorgeous. I'm so happy to hear that like HiTOPS gets around. Like it's not just in Princeton, New Jersey by any means. It's fully accessible to everyone.
Yeah, we're all over the place. I mean, I'm in South Jersey, and I know plenty of you guys come from North and Connecticut and New York,
Maryland,
you know, we're everywhere.
And that's just here in the board right now.
Yes, that's just the board.
And that's just the people who are on the panel.
Yeah, literally.
Exactly.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, I heard about it as soon as I got here in New Jersey, which was pretty awesome. So
that's awesome. Well, what about you?
Yeah, so I joined quite instantly when I heard about it, mainly because I wanted to connect to other trans individuals. Like I'm, I guess, fortunate that there are a lot of queer people around me in my high school, but I had always had trouble making friends, regardless of my identity. So it was really cool to have this group of determined, really intelligent individuals that wanted to make a change. A lot of the queer community talks about influencing and making a change. We see a lot of infographics on Instagram about things that happen in the world, but we are the ones really doing something. We are the ones that are making change by being here today. And in this jumbled political climate, I feel like organizations like this are really the most stable. So thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, we have a question from the audience right now, which is, how old were you when you joined the Trans Youth Advisory Board?
I'll go first. So I was 15 last year. That's when I joined. I'm 16 now. I'm turning 17 in May, but I've worked with people of all ages.
Awesome. Arrow, how about you? I know you've been on for multiple years.
Yeah, I think when I first applied to be on the Trans Youth Forum, I think I was 14 or so. I'm 16 now, and it's been really great. And I love the community that HiTOPS provides for all of us. It's really great.
That's awesome. I mean, I'm 17. I joined right before I turned 17, so been 17 most of my career here. August, when did you join? I know you've been on for a few years too.
Yeah, I've been getting support from HiTOPS since I was 12 years old. I joined the young adult spot or the youth advisory board when I was 15, I think, around then, and I'm 18 and I'm still here. So
that is awesome, guys.
There's something keeping us.
All right. So I wanted to wonder, another question for you guys. Tell us a bit about what your role entails. Will, how about you?
So I'm the social media influencer along with Ryan, who's holding on the fort while I'm on the panel. So we created those profiles on the website, which are still up, and you should definitely go check out because they're really cool, and we spent a lot of time on them. So this involves getting to know the other members of the Trans Youth Forum, and asking them a couple of questions about themselves. For me, that was cool because it helped me get to know all of you, because I did the profile for all of you at some point. And right now we're doing the social media takeover. So Ryan's doing this right now, but we were posting quotes from all of the speakers. I made a couple of videos on the Instagram. Jason HiTOPS is doing the TikTok. Another HiTOPS person is doing the Facebook. So we basically just hype up everyone else, and that's just really cool.
That is awesome. All right, what about Landon?
Yeah, shout out to Will. You can see those profiles on the Trans Youth Forum page, and he did an amazing job there.
Yeah.
I am an interviewer on this advisory board, and as an interviewer, so along with a bunch of people on this call right now, we sat together with our partner and we came up with a bunch of different questions to ask our interviewee, and we bonded together, in person at HiTOPS or, over dinner and over the phone. We would meet bi-weekly to go over our questions, keep adding questions, and even organize it into segments so we could really have an organized presentation and interview for you all today. And then the last two sessions, we began to rehearse our questions, and we even had a little rehearsal with each of our interviewees where they came in and began to just look over the questions, ask any questions for us, and best prepare them for their day today as well. So being an interview is a lot of fun because obviously we get to interact directly with our interviewee and our trans leader, but also interacting with the whole advisory board and collaborating on questions. So it's been a lot of fun.
I loved how you just kind of walked everyone through the general process of what we were doing. I liked reliving that myself as well. It was really nice.
Yeah.
Rocky, what about you? What does your role entail?
So my role is the role of a video journalist, which basically means I helped interview people for the spotlight interviews. I helped create the questions with the other video journalists, and we did the research. We got sent like books sometimes from people, and we read the books, and we interviewed this person, and we just like learned more about them. And it was a really cool experience because like I never really done something like this before. So it was cool to like, learn more about this. And there's about like 6 people who are video journalists. And even though we are like a bit more just like in the breaks, I feel like we still are a really important part of this group.
Yeah, definitely. Every role is, you can't really take any part away from an engine, right? It won't work. So we need everybody here. There's an audience question. How did you guys think about choosing which role you wanted to take? So I'm going to take that first. I'll ask a few of you guys, but when I came in, and I've helped sign people up for the Trans Youth Advisory Board as well. It gives you a list of options, and it lets you number them 1 through 5, or 1 through however many. And you just number it what you want to do most to least. So it's literally like you get a say in what you want to do, and they walk you through the whole thing. Like there's a brief description, but it's fun. And then I was like, I'll be an interviewer. I'm good at talking a lot. So that's why I'm here. Jamie, how did you choose the role of interviewer?
I know I'm generally pretty good about talking with people. I'm a big theater kid, so I'm like not scared of embarrassing myself, I guess is my thoughts. So when I saw like the options, I was like, well, I definitely don't want to do social media because I cannot post on my own Instagram to save my life, let alone someone else's. So I put that one last. And I put interviewer first because I was like, I feel like I could absolutely talk to people and make great connections. And I feel like that's just so important. And that's why I really wanted to do being an interviewer.
Yeah, so to counter Jamie's point, I'm a social media influencer, and I picked that because first of all, my best friend makes fun of me for overposting on my Instagram all the time. So I figured like this is perfect for me. And secondly, I love like graphic design. So I got really good at Photoshop. I got good at like editing and creating posters. I ran for vice president of my high school and I lost, but I still did a lot of fun graphic art where I edited my face onto Uncle Sam's. So I thought it was perfect for me. And I've been here for the 2nd year in a row and I'm planning to come back. So
that is awesome.
Amazing. As Danella likes to say, we all have our strong points, so you can see the diversity within everybody's personality and preferences. Kander, what about you? How did you think about choosing which role you wanted to do?
So I wanted to be an interviewer because I love public speaking. I think I took my first public speaking class in like 2019, 2020. And that really showed me how much I love talking to people, but also talking to an audience. I do morning announcements at my school. I am the student council president at my school, though my campaign posters were not nearly as cool as Will's. And yeah, so I just love public speaking and I love asking people questions and learning about people. So, being an interview was really perfect for me.
That's lovely. I love hearing the creativity behind everybody's process because there's definitely always a story and it's fun. It's heartwarming. I think I've said that like numerous times though. All right, a question for everybody. What was the process of getting ready for the big day? I would like to hear from Kander first.
So we did a lot of things to get ready. We did have this one cool event where we all got together and filmed that intro video that was all the way at the beginning. We had like a professional filming crew. We had a script. That was really fun because we also like got to know each other if we didn't already know each other. Also, as an interviewer, I had to write a script for the interview, and we wrote that in meetings every other week for a couple weeks. And then recently we did like a kind of like a dress rehearsal with Tobley, who we were interviewing. And then, yeah, that's how we got ready for today. And so, yeah, there was a lot of planning behind it. There was a lot of script writing and, you know, filming things, but it was really fun. It was really fun. The whole process was.
Definitely. I remember being in front of the cameras and, you know, shaking and sweating, but also I couldn't stop laughing because everybody else was in the room. And I was like, dang it. Landon, what did your process look like?
So similar to Candor, I just had my rehearsal and practice with my partner Cass that we'll see very soon in the next segment. And we also had a dress rehearsal. I think uniquely too, we each do research to prepare for our interviewees. We love to see what the local news is saying and, you know, kind of what their activism entails. So we could ask them the most unique questions and, you know, maybe ask them some questions they've never really heard before. I think we're especially in a unique position because, of course, we are all trans and non-binary and, you know, gender non-conforming. So I don't think, or at least I know in our dress rehearsal, Andrea, that we'll see very soon, said that, you know, I don't think I've ever been interviewed by, you know, a trans person as well. So having a unique dialogue and a unique interview, I think is something really obviously different. So we do some research too to find new questions and to find, you know, certain things about them, including just about their personality that we can, you know, learn more about and display for everyone watching today.
How about the like research, like did it hit you emotionally or something, or like
Yeah,
give me
I
some
know.
juice?
I know with a lot of our interviewees, we always look at local news and stuff like that. And, you know, whether it's the book bans that we just talked about with Tobley, or we'll soon learn about Andrea and her activism in athleticism, like obviously there's just a lot of bills and news coming out. So it is a little bit hard at times, but I feel like this center, at least to talk about it together, really does help. And I also think that seeing just like what activism they've done, for example, Andrea's done some documentaries that I think we might even show today. And I even watched one of the Hulu documentaries. It was you know, a full documentary, and seeing their participation, you know, like that could be us one day in our, you know, in our activism. So I think being able to relate, you know, interviewee to interviewer as well is huge.
Definitely. I love that, like, you brought up that there was a unique dialogue that does go into it, and a unique kind of like connection, knowing that we went through similar stuff that some people don't, and that's cool. So it's always fun to talk to you guys, of course. Era, what was the process of you getting ready?
Yeah, so I would mirror most of what Landon and Candor said about the research, as I'm also an interviewer. I really liked the point that Landon made about the uniqueness of the interview, and specifically me and my partner interviewed Noella, who, if you saw earlier today, she was spectacular, and her parent Asher. And that was a little bit more unique just because she's 11 and she's a trans activist at that age. She was the first young trans model to walk on New York Fashion Week. So the process of doing research was a little bit different there, and also navigating what questions we wanted to ask was also a little bit complex because we didn't want to break any boundaries, but we also really wanted to discuss what it's like being young and transitioning at that stage, when, again, like in the political climate, it's very controversial. So yeah, that we did a lot of research into that, and then we did the rehearsal when we made revisions, and yeah, it was really fun.
Awesome. I'm happy to hear that everybody's you know, process was generally non-stressful and just looking forward to it, in terms of like, oh my God, this is terrible. But no, it sounds like everybody had a good time. I did. I know I did. Jamie?
I definitely did too. On a similar note of getting ready, what was like your biggest fear of being part of the Trans Youth Advisory Board, either for the forum or just in general? How did you overcome that? Candor, how did you feel?
So I think my biggest fear, especially at the beginning before I had met anybody, I felt very underqualified. I am only 14. I'm on the younger side of the Trans Youth Advisory Board. And so, yeah, I had never really done anything like this before. And so I just, I'm working alongside high schoolers and college students. And it was kind of hard for me to see myself working with older people who probably are more qualified. But I think we really did all work really, really well together, and everybody made me feel very much accepted and helpful.
That is awesome. You are totally qualified, though. Just saying.
Thank you.
All right, Rocky, what about you?
I think my biggest fear was feeling like inexperienced in the group. This is my first year doing it, and I am kind of on the older side with being 17 and everything. And I think what helped me overcome that fear was just like learning the group and learning what like I needed to do to help the group. Like I started off never like doing anything like this before, to working in a few places that are like technically considered outside of my role as a video journalist, including like being a part of the Trans Youth Advisory Board interview, being one of the interviewees. And I think it was just it's just been like a very good experience, but it's also like, I think having also like veteran like Trans Youth Advisory Board members around also helped, because like, oh, they've been in the same boat as I've been before, and just seeing how they work and how they like and how they contribute to the group really helped me feel like less inexperienced and less like underqualified, just because I like was learning and I was open to like being a part of the group and helping out.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree with you. I mean, it's my first year here, but I just feel like it's so amazing how much the people who have been here help us and make us grow and be better people.
Yeah, and if I could add, I mean, I'm 22, so I think I'm like maybe one of the oldest on the Trans Youth Forum. However, I felt the same nerves, speaking, and maybe it helps that it's virtual. But I think, regardless of age, anyone, can be a little nervous to public speak and, lead a forum like we are. But I think something so about this is that it literally is practice, and it's something to build our leadership. And I really see it as like, leadership opportunity. So I think all of us are, really moving forward in like a really great leadership role, just being part of the Trans Youth Forum. So it's definitely something that, you don't need to be perfect at. There's so much support for you, even within each other, and, within Danella and HiTOPS and Alex and everyone that has really helped us out. So I wouldn't discourage anyone, despite how, nervous speaking could be or feeling inexperienced, just because I think we all, we're nervous regardless of our age. And look, I think we're doing fine today.
Yeah, we are.
I agree. I feel like going back to the qualified or not qualified point, I feel like as long as you're passionate about what we do, then you are qualified, because everything that we do, realistically, like we teach each other. You come here and you learn it. So as long as you're passionate about it and you have that resilience and that, you can bounce back up, like it's fantastic. It's a great group to hang out with, and everybody's just so nice and supportive. Obviously, like, we're all the same person. So got a new question. Did you feel that being virtual still allowed you to make connections with your peers on the Trans Youth Advisory Board? Will, I'd like to hear from you first.
Yeah, so being from Connecticut, I'm far from the rest of the forum. Landon does live in New Jersey, and I have been to Princeton once. In fact, when I went to Princeton, like when I heard of the forum, I was like, where's Princeton? Why am I signing up for this thing in New Jersey? But when I did the first year of the forum, I was surprised at all of the connections that I managed to make with all of the wonderful people on the forum. Mac, one of the video journalists, and I are really close now. I actually have a bunch of his stickers from Shark Boy stuff, so you should really go check out Shark Boy stuff. So incredible. I made
Shout
a
out
really
to
close connection with Ryan, the other social media influencer, and when I tried. I applied for National Honor Society, and I got in, and I got my recommendations from Danella. Like the amount of connections I have because of doing HiTOPS both years is so absolutely incredible, and it's everything I could have wanted. Working and collaborating with trans youth is so important to me, to feel a belonging within the community and to feel sort of activism. Like, we are doing something so important. So it's not only connecting in a relational sense, but it's also connecting to like a greater purpose, and the importance it is to share our voices with the world. So I'll be here
Yeah,
every year. You guys
absolutely
let me.
agree.
That's my bad. It's my bad.
No, all good. Landon, did you feel you could still make connections virtually?
Yeah, I think Will answered that question really well, and I agree with most everything. I think virtual makes everything easier, both having the forum virtual, but even just the preparation that we all did virtual, because I could, finish classes or finish work and then hop on another call and like get into, planning the forum and, still connecting with Cass. And I mean, we'd had each other's phone numbers too, and, we'd text about certain questions or just like other things about, what HiTOPS is up to. And even beyond trans youth forum, I mean, we still connect virtually on like Discord chats and doing other fun events. And so when we do see each other in person, for example, at our closet events or other HiTOPS events, it's really special because we don't have to build the relationship in person. It's like we build the relationship virtually, and then maybe sparingly when we do see each other in person, like, it's like you're already best friends. Like, I remember meeting August, for example, the first time in person. Maybe it's like, I already know August, and I got the
Oh,
chance to
hey,
talk to
Landon, what's up?
exactly. Like,
I've never seen
it's so
anything but
nice
your
to,
face.
yeah, it's so nice to have Zoom as a platform, and to have forums like these where really it can really expand everywhere and reach everyone, again, in the Trans Youth Forum itself, or the advisory board, and just anyone watching today.
Yeah, so I wanted to add to that. I went to Princeton for the first time in November because my mom ran the HiTOPS Princeton Half Marathon, and when I met Danella and Alex and Annie, who Annie's in charge of our social media here. And when I met them, it was such an incredible experience. Danella was crying. Everyone was hugging me. I have a picture actually on my wall right here of like
Sounds
the
like
three
her.
of us, because it was so special. So I agree wholeheartedly with what Landon's saying, that we build the relationships online, and it makes it like so rewarding to see you guys in person. So I gotta get myself down to Princeton.
There's
And I might be
definitely a
moving
lot.
back to Maryland, but I mean, I know I'm going to come up to Princeton again, like throughout the summers for Pride Month and, other events. So I feel like our connection is just so strong. And again, I mean, that was built virtually. So
I'm happy to hear that everybody was able to maintain and like form connections online. That is super sick, and it's great because I definitely got a lot of hugs that I've been like wanting, like yearning for over the calls, and I finally see everybody in a HiTOPS space, and I'm like overwhelmed with love. So I'm gonna go on to like a different part of that question. I said no. I'm a person that it's hard for me to make connections and complete tasks online if there's nothing and nobody holding me accountable. I'm bad at doing it myself. I can do it myself, but it's a struggle. I knew though that if I stuck with them, that I'd still have this family at the end of the day. And I knew that I didn't have to talk to them every single day for them to love me. And I could step away from things that were stressful, and they'd always be there to back me up. So I had hope, and virtual became an option instead of a necessity. And then I started seeing them and everything just got better. And now my view, honestly, on virtual like learning as well, I can keep them more open.
Absolutely.
All right. Yeah.
All right. So our next question is, how did having a voice as trans, non-binary, otherwise genderqueer youth on a platform where so many people would see you, how does that make you feel? Rocky, I was wondering what you were thinking.
Okay. So it very much just like made me feel connected to other people in the trans community and that we aren't alone in the struggle to thrive and sometimes like just survive in general. Like getting on a more serious note, suicide rates are high above transgender youth for a reason. And if spaces like this don't exist for trans kids out there, they may not get to adulthood, let alone live enough to like transition. Plus, considering the history it took us to get here, it makes me feel emotional because like our potential trans elders who did not survive because of like the AIDS epidemic, hate crimes, etc., is because of disparities caused by transphobia. And the fact that we're here today makes me feel proud of myself, our community, our humanity, and just our right to take space and make waves in the world. Like, I feel so proud to be here today and to be with all of you, and it makes me feel so good to like be a part of this. It's amazing.
Absolutely. That is an insanely good point. I definitely felt the same because I know a lot of trans youth who do not have as supportive environments as I do. And when I heard about the Trans Youth Advisory Board, I was like, I can make this change. Era, what were you thinking?
Oh, Era, we can't hear you.
Sorry, I'm
Yeah.
thinking that it made me very grateful to be within an educational and supportive community. It's like the HiTOPS people that I've met like through doing this Trans Youth Forum have made me feel like a second family. Like the HiTOPS community is just so supportive. It's really just like brings people together through like our diverse identities. And it also made me feel really heard to speak on relevant trans issues that are really relevant in terms of the political climate that have become controversial. And it made me excited to talk to wonderful trans activists, like the people that I've been able to meet who are just so influential in the trans community. I'm just like so thankful for that opportunity. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Will, what about you? How did you feel about being able to have your voice shared on such a big platform?
It made me feel extremely powerful to have a voice that like so many people are watching us right now, having a authentic conversation between trans voices. Like many politicians in the South would be pooping their pants right now. So, and that makes me proud. That makes me feel powerful. And to piggyback onto what Rocky said, I don't have a GSA as my high school, actually. Connecticut is a very supportive state, and it's bad by any means, but we just don't have these kind of communities. We don't have the kind of safe places. So it's really important to foster that, not only between ourselves, but to show it to the world. I think that we need to band each other, frankly, to keep ourselves alive, but also to make it better for the next generation to have laws like the executive bill and laws to make sure that all queer and trans individuals are protected. Having a voice here also made me show my progress to the world. When I joined the Trans Youth Advisory Board for last year in 2022, I had come out quite recently and I was not in the best mental place. I was struggling, and now seeing how much progress I've made. I'm 10 months on T today, and I am so grateful to have these connections and to share my story and to share my presence with HiTOPS so that other people can see, hey, there are people like me.
Well, congrats on 10 months. And I absolutely agree. You so strong, so brave. I'm so happy for you guys.
Good for you. I don't remember. I didn't really keep track of my testosterone marks, but it's good when people do because then you have days like this. You can be like, yes, good job, you did it.
Thanks.
I just wanted to share with everyone that somebody that would take care of me in HiTOPS when I was 12 years old is watching this, and she says she's proud of me and I love her so much. Her name is Mel. Thank you, Mel. I love you and I miss you. All right. One of the, I think is our final question before the Q&A. What was the most memorable part of the Trans Youth Advisory Board? Will, I'd like to start with you.
So the role of the social media influencer is very like day on. So making the Instagram post, hyping up, making the fun videos. Those are always the highlights for me. I loved making the profiles because of my graphic design love. And I also like connected after the last forum with former speaker Isaiah Stannard, who was in the 2022 Trans Youth Forum. And that was absolutely a dream of mine. One of my friends actually loved the show he was in, so she was geeking out about it. And like he was hyping me up after, and it was like such a great connection. So that was the most memorable, and of course hugging Danella.
Of course. Landon, what's up? What was the most memorable part of the Trans Youth Advisory Board?
I want to say just the opportunity to even get to interview Andrea. I mean, I personally knew of her and heard of her news, prior to getting this opportunity. So then when we found out that we were going to have her on this forum, I was really excited because I would love to speak with her, and I'm so happy to next. And also just the preparation for it all, getting to speak with Cass, getting to speak with y'all. Getting to film our intro video that day was a lot of fun. And I know even after the fact that we're still going to stay in connection and, celebrate together. So I definitely, no, new answer is the amazing friendships I made with you all. So I know that's just going to continue. And I'm so excited to continue that relationship, but also interview Andrea soon.
I'm excited to watch your interview. It's going to be so good. You're going to be so good. You got this.
So good. Speaking of which, before we continue, we can all say bye to Lyndon so he can go prepare for his interview, which is up next. So thank you
bye,
so
Lyndon.
much.
Good luck.
Have
fun.
Joining us
bye.
right
Thank you, August. Thank you,
so
Jamie.
much.
Bye, everyone.
Of course,
no problem.
bye.
See ya.
And now we can go to Candor.
Yes, Candor. What was the most memorable part of the Trans Youth Advisory Board?
Yes, so I think after, doing my interview with Tably before, now doing this, I think today is going to be the most memorable part of this. I think this has like unlocked a new level of confidence for me. Speaking in front of so many people, I know this is going to be recorded, it's going to be on YouTube. I just feel like today has helped me feel so much more confident in my abilities as a public speaker, as an interviewer. I also want to say that I have made a lot of amazing friends through this. And Jamie, I believe we are Duolingo friends, and we've been doing Duolingo challenges for the past couple months ever since.
We are.
Oh,
Sorry,
yes.
my, 682-day streak. You're
wow.
more
Okay.
than
Yeah. So we've been doing challenges ever since the video filming.
Yes.
What are you both
so
learning?
That has been very memorable and very fun, and I love meeting all these people, all of these amazing people.
Yes.
What are you guys learning?
I'm learning Norwegian.
Oh.
I am learning Spanish and Italian.
Good for you guys. Expanding the brain.
Yeah.
Good. Making new pathways. Anyway, Arrow, what was your most memorable part of the Trans Youth Advisory Board?
Yes, I have a few. One was last year on TYAB 2022. I got to speak with Jonathan Groff, who's an amazing actor and director from the UK, and I was able, oh, Jake Groff, my bad. And I was able to see their toddler, which was just like who was being raised as gender neutral. And it was just like such a nice experience. It was like so heartwarming, and the feeling of like trans joy is just like really palpable there. Also throughout the throughout the HiTOPS community specifically, we've had some like great moments. I remember we had a pool party last year where I got to meet and hang out with a lot of other board members. It was so fun. And then the pop-up closets, which support HiTOPS. We have like the free closet, and we have some pop-ups where you can go get free clothes whenever the Trans Youth Advisory Board helps out with the volunteering there. It's always just a bunch of fun. So yeah.
That's awesome. I also really enjoyed the pool party. I met my partner there, Milo. Shout out to Stacy for letting us use your pool in your house. And your dogs are really cute also. Rocky, what was your favorite part?
I think it's just a few things. Like, for instance, like meeting up in real life for the intro videos was really cool because it was really cool to just like meet everyone in person and actually be able to talk to them. Cause like, even though like we could talk on the Discord and everything, that only goes so far. Like it was awesome just to see everyone's faces and to just get to know them better. And honestly, the interview Candor and I did for Tobley today was just an amazing experience. Like I had such a good time just like learning more about him. And like when we met him for like the tech rehearsal, like I was really excited to help to interview him because he seemed like a really great guy. And I just think like, you know, it was just cool to like learn more about him, but also learn more about like, you know, like for instance, like when he was talking about like, oh, like we should have like more more trans people play like cis actors. Like I felt like those sort of fresh takes were also super cool.
Yeah.
So I
You don't
just
think
like
about that.
So honestly, just being able to like learn more about the world was such a good experience from the Trans Youth Advisory Board.
I agree. I feel like it teaches you to look through a few different lenses and take a step away from what you're used to doing.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie, what about you? What was your favorite moment?
Well, this was actually like right after I found out I was on the Trans Youth Advisory Board. We all had I suppose it wasn't just Trans Youth Advisory Board, it was all of HiTOPS. We had the Thanksgiving dinner at PJ's Pancake House. And that was so much fun because it was like my first time really getting to meet all of you in person. Because I know I think I met August for the first time there and some others. And it was so cool. And I was just so happy, like, and I was so excited to like be on TYAB. And that was kind of my way of celebrating with all of you guys. And it was really awesome. August, what was your favorite part though?
Thank you for asking. It's definitely like not just one, it's I don't want to say it, but it's a vibe that I get from everybody here. It's every time we all meet up like at that pool party, every time we all meet up at the headquarters. It's like every time I get to like hug your guys like meat bodies and you face to face, that's my favorite moment. Thanks for asking again. But there's some other stuff in here. Okay, now we would love to have a Q&A with the audience. We have a few questions already, but please keep chatting us your questions. What are you curious about regarding the Trans Youth Advisory Board?
Yes, bring on the questions.
Jamie, you go first.
Okay. All right, we have a question from someone who says that they're 9 years old and what they want to do to practice and be good enough to be on the board when they're 11. I mean, just keep doing what you're doing, like being there, being open with your experiences, being a good advocate for your friends, all of those things. Practice public speaking if you want to be an interviewer, but if you don't want to be an interviewer, you can also just do social media like Will, and you can just be a big presence in your community and just have all of the joy and share it with people. And it's so incredible that you're 9 and able to be out. That is so amazing. I'm so happy for you. Lots of support from here.
If I could add to that, I'm like that. I'm so charmed by whoever sent that in. That is so sweet.
Literally.
And I think just the interest that you show in being on the board means that you're ready, like when you turn that age to be on it. Like the interest is really the most important part, and I love that they're willing to like practice or get good at, like good enough to get at the board. Like I think really the most important part about being on the board is just having that like interest, that desire to be in the trans community and like talk about those kind of topics. So, yeah.
I love seeing young people do queer things.
Yeah.
Jamie, there's an audience question for you. I heard you like theater. What hobbies do you have outside of being leaders in your queer community?
Well, yes, obviously I do theater. Currently I'm in my school's musical. We're doing The Addams Family. I'm Uncle Fester. It's a lot of rehearsals, so it takes up a lot of my time. I also like choir, but I want to know what you all do outside of this.
Come to HiTOPS and meet us. Tell us. That'd be great. I'd love to get to know it. Will, there's an audience question for you. What are some of your, or wait. Oh no, Will also wanted to answer something like that. What is your biggest?
You're really breaking the fourth wall, brother.
I'm trying to get to the fifth. What are some of your biggest role models in the queer community?
Yeah, so it was really influential to me when Ryan Casada was interviewed here last youth forum. I'm a musician. I play piano for 11 years now. I'm surrounded with guitar. I sing, I write my own music. So to see a trans artist who is being authentically himself, who is very happily in love, as I think he got proposed to very recently.
He did.
Yeah, like good for him, man. And he's like making a name for himself as he is. I cried the first time I heard Daughter, so there's that. So yeah, he's definitely a role model for me.
I see it. I can get that. I have some, I think I have 2 albums on CD from when I saw him after I interviewed him. That was really fun. I love Ryan Casada. So
I wanted to go, but I don't live in Princeton.
I get it. Next time we can Zoom and I'll like hold you up too and I'll sit in front of you.
Yes.
It's okay. I'll get you that experience. Don't worry.
Yeah. Eras tour moment.
Jamie, you want to ask the next question?
Sure. There's another question of how do you practice self-care when you're putting so much energy into being leaders and activists in this political climate? Oof, that's a tough one. Rocky, do you want to answer that?
Yeah, I think a great thing to do is just like, obviously you got to focus on like, like how you want to advocate and everything, but just investing in what gives you joy. Like, I think a lot of times we focus on like just trying to like do what we need to do or like trying to do like what we have to do and not focusing on what we want to do. Like invest in your hobbies that you want to do. Like if you're too scared to do something but you really want to do it, like you should just do it anyways, because it's really just opens your mind. It opens sort of like, yeah, just like sort of, I guess I know this might sound weird, but like sort of transcends you from like just living your life to like thriving in it. And I think definitely investing what gives you joy and like what you want to do like improves your mental health and also gives you the energy for like being able to like advocate for other people and be able to give your energy to other people.
Awesome. I absolutely agree. Arrow, what do you want to like, how do you practice your self-care?
Yeah, I would say similar to what Rocky added, but I also would say like putting your time into your specific interests is really important. And for me specifically, I'm really interested in science and math and a lot of academic stuff. So I do a lot of reading, I do a lot of schoolwork. Like I really like to entrench myself in like academics to kind of get my mind away from the like sticky political climate. But I also really enjoy, and part of the reason why I got on the Trans Youth Advisory Board is I really like public speaking. And so a lot of energy I put to like debate, which I do through my high school. So that's like another thing that I put my time into kind of as an escape. But yeah, I really enjoy like all of this.
Awesome. Yeah. All right, August, do you want to ask the next question?
You're on mute.
Thank you. An audience member asked, what gives you trans joy or euphoria? And that resonated with me because it took me a long time to figure out what did. And I always thought it was about following what a boy was and trying to fit myself into this little box of like, people need to know I am masculine. But realistically, people don't need to know anything. Like, you don't even need to know. You just need to feel comfortable. So if you put on a dress and it makes you happy, then it does. Sometimes I'll put on a skirt and it makes me happy. That'll give me gender euphoria because I'm non-binary. And I, discovered when I went too far mask, I was getting dysphoric and people weren't seeing me for who I felt I was. So I'm able to wear makeup now and to wear what I want and feel good about it, like I don't have to feel like I have to shave if I want to wear mascara. That's not, you don't have to do that. Just a fun fact. Be yourself and that will make you happy. That's what gives me euphoria. All right, Jamie, close it up.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in from home and for all of you who shared your questions with us. And a big shout out to all of our amazing sponsors.
The Youth Advisory Board members, Landon and Cass, will be back at 3:15 for a conversation with our last amazing speaker of the day, Andrea Yearwood. You'll be happy to hear her story.
So don't go away.
Bye.
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 Bye.